ego up. He's doing the ego up technique. Yeah, like that's entirely different. He's like that is actually survey. Like what he's doing there is an interrogation, and he's also using the ego up technique to appeal to his fucking you know, sensibilities, make it seem like he's a compassionate person. No, the interrogation isn't over here.
Now we got a nice.
The interrogation isn't over here. Him laughing and chumming it up with him while he eats a giant burgle is makes me way more uncomfortable. Way more uncomfortable than this. This is normal.
Pisses you off. You may want to beat the shit out of them, shoot them, stab them, kill them, whatever. But when you're laying there at night, it may bother you. You see what I'm saying? And that's the only reason I'm asking.
That's almost a shot.
That's the only one you shot.
They're responsible for putting this guy behind bars. He would have killed and raped more people otherwise, dude. Cops need reform, not defunding or freaking abolishment, dude. This is called the chatter didn't listen to anything that this political commentator has ever said or understands the complex opinions he has on policing in America and policing worldwide. So the chatter is actually creating a completely fabricated approach that he suspects the streamer has technique. Okay? That's what it is. That's what that take is, dude.
Okay.
I didn't want to have to explain numbers on the phone, and I sure didn't want to give numbers of 4.
So when you told Mom she didn't have enough fingers...
I just didn't know what to tell her on the phone.
Okay, so that was kind of, not, I don't want to say embellishment, but it was just something to...
Didn't want to give her phone number.
What is this?
I gotcha.
Definitely more than one hand, but it's not really a bragging kind of...
Oh my God, I got Austin to paint his fucking nails, dude. I mean, mine is like done now. I don't have it anymore, but that's hilarious.
1 year with the big man Pog at Hasan.
My man. That's sick, dude. I wonder how many people I wonder how many guys I got to paint their nails. My impact, dude. What's he saying? They're responsible for putting this guy behind bars who would have killed. Oh. He said, what the hell? Chatter, you must be new here.
I understand.
Some of these knuckleheads may call that, ooh, that's cool. I don't really call that cool.
Hey, Todd, a while ago you made a statement that said, that when you just said, those are the only people I've shot. Any other memes? Okay.
What do you think? On one hand, it does seem a little suspicious that there would be a 13-year lull in between the Superbike shooting and Todd's next victims. But I can also see how Todd might just be showboating in a bid to get more attention now that his case has died down. But get this, some people actually think that Todd may not have even really committed the Superbike murders. All right, strap in, because now I'm going to take you through some of...
Come on, dog, this video's got 6 minutes left. You can't do a plot twist with 6 minutes remaining. This video was really good, by the way. I totally understand why you guys were like adamant that I watch. This was one of the best like JCS style videos that we watched.
The more controversial internet theories and conspiracies that have arisen around this case. Just a disclaimer, I'm not endorsing these theories in any way, but I think it's really fascinating to see the information people have dug up and the wildly different conclusions they've come to. So, about the Superbike murders, a woman named Pat Brown, who is a profiler claiming to have worked on this case in the past, has written about her doubts. She says a serial killer that is also a mass murderer is not what you would normally expect, because serial killers like to have complete control over their victims. She also feels that there is no actual evidence beyond a potentially false confession that Todd was the perpetrator in this case. And she even asserted that the sheriff was up for re-election around the time Todd confessed, and this may have been a convenient way to solve that cold case in the nick of time. However, a counterpoint to this idea is that Todd mentioned a detail in his confession that apparently was never released to the public before, when he said that he shot each of the victims in the forehead, so investigators feel pretty confident that he was the one behind the crime. But still, Pat refutes this claim and actually says that none of the victims were shot in the forehead. There's honestly so much to go into here, but to me, it seems like...
I mean, he fucking lied about how, like, the dude attacked him with a knife and stuff, too. he very clearly embellishes
Share a Prime account
to
will be fighting
fit
over
that
who gets to
narrative that,
sub
like,
at
you know, these are
Hasanabi every
actually legal kills. These are actually kills that are like warranted. You know what I mean? It's just a very chud thing to do. That's why he's doing it, because he's just a fucking chud. You ignored my $10 donation of environmental indoctrination. What the fuck was it, dude? It's kind of your fault, dude. Just write it in the fucking chat.
Like Todd's motive and explanation of this crime were clear, so I'll let you decide what you think really happened. And then another conspiracy theory people have posited centers around Kayla herself. This one is rather sensitive, and I again want to emphasize that I don't subscribe to these beliefs and would never do anything to blame the victim, as what she had to go through was undoubtedly unimaginable. With that being said, here is the theory some people propose. When Kayla appeared on Dr. Phil to talk about the case, she said that she met Todd on Facebook several years before, and they had little contact besides a few messages here and there, where he would ask how she's doing before he ultimately contacted her about the job opportunity. However, according to the Newberry Observer, an initial interview at Todd's residence between Todd and an investigator suggested that there may have been more to the relationship. The alleged transcript of that exchange shows the investigator asking Todd if Kayla was a stripper who would also sleep with Todd for money, which Todd claims is true. He also apparently claimed that he'd taken her to dinner and that she'd spent the night at his house before, among other physical encounters. So these details have apparently led some online circles to speculate that Kayla could have known more than she was letting on about the whole situation.
Wait, so what? Some people have come up with this theory. You mean people on Reddit, I think, right? This just strikes me as like straight out of fucking Red Pill, like literally an incel theory, dude. Because like
11 months BB.
critical incel theory. Yeah, true. It's like you want to know how it's like 100% an incel theory, because like even if it's true, it's still doesn't mean anything. Like, but to an incel, it's like, well, maybe she was a sex worker. Okay, so who cares? Like, he still kidnapped her, dude. You have to be like a real psycho to be like, oh, well, if she was a stripper, that must mean maybe she wanted to be kidnapped and raped. You know what I mean? Like, you literally have to be a fucking psycho to be like, well, her being a sex worker implies that maybe there was more to the story after all. It's like, yeah, okay, there was a little bit more, that she was also, that was her occupation, let's say, if it's true. Jesus fucking Christ, all you do for your entire streams is bitch and call people names. You're such a piece of shit, bro. You literally sit there, watch, and then desperately try to get me to fucking pay attention to you. That's so much sadder than what I do, dude.
Pepega.
Thanks for the subscription, though. Who cares if you think you're right? You're a terrible person. Bad take. Variants are coming from shitter third world countries that are too corrupt to vaccinate their people. What? Oh my God. Fighting with mental illness and being technically homeless. I've seen it. Had to deal with a lot of scummy people who hate me just because of the situation I'm in. Why aren't you allowed to point out black people had a hand in enslaving themselves, though? Especially considered the state in many countries within Africa. What the fuck? So this person is like a mentally ill homeless person who's also like a racist? Like, what's going on? Yeah. I hate that, like, you know, the Delta variant was created because of, you know, the corruption in third world countries. And certainly not because,
Yo, I'm sub.
you know, they just did not have the means to be able to get all the vaccines because we fucking bought all of them. But he has $5 to sub. Yeah, that's crazy. Dude, if you're literally fucking homeless, like, don't waste your money on me, dude. What the fuck? I think the same exact thing about Sharia law. You take part in it, you're a scumbag. Oh, God. I want to fucking stop before we finish this, and I want to show you something that Iron Stash posted. It looks fake. it's in Greece, no Mickey is there, really? Hey, at least they have fucking planes to take care of this problem, you know what I mean? All right, let's finish.
Especially considering those letters she had allegedly written to Todd during her capture. Other updates that have added fuel to this fire include the fact that Kayla in 2019 was charged with third-degree criminal domestic violence after a fight between her and her boyfriend. Kayla claimed that during an argument, the man bucked his chest into her, then she struck him in the face with a closed fist, and then he allegedly slammed her to the ground and put her in a headlock. The charge was her first criminal charge in South Carolina and was eventually dismissed. However, people still drew attention to another tragedy that occurred in her life about 5 months before this incident. At that time, her then-fiancé shockingly died of a self-inflicted stab wound to the chest. All of these factors have caused some internet communities to turn a suspicious eye on Kayla, but at the same time, most recognize that she is still trying to...
Dude, that take alone is like that. You fucking don't need to post that. Like, the moment you post that comment...
dismissed. However, people still drew attention to another tragedy that occurred in her life about 5 months before this incident.
Hold on, I gotta show you that Facebook comment.
Her then-fiancé shockingly died of a self-inflicted stab wound to the chest. All of these factors have caused some...
No one doesn't say she's a victim, but how much of a victim is she? Bro, you're literally a psycho, dude. I mean, this is literally victim blaming, dude. What the fuck? I mean, he's... Oh my god, this is actually victim blaming. The moment that you find yourself asking the question like, how much of a victim is this person? That's like, I'm admittedly calling a victim. That's when you know you've strayed away from God's good graces.
Internet communities to turn a suspicious eye on Kayla, but at the same time, most recognize that she is still trying to heal from the traumatic experience she endured at the hands of Todd Colehep. I think everyone can agree that even if we don't have the full picture of Kayla's life, she was still a victim who did not deserve any of the horrible things that happened to her during that kidnapping. And I hope she is doing well today, or at least getting the help she needs to work back towards a normal life. Further updates following Todd's arrest have failed to show any growth nor regret on his part. In a hearing,
shocking,
family members of the Superbike victims got to make statements directly to Todd, and after one mother spoke about how Todd was frustrated that he couldn't ride a bike properly and said her son would have been happy to show him how, Todd actually spoke up to say, "With all due respect, ma'am, I'm sorry, but your information is incorrect." The judge reminded him he was only allowed to speak if he had a question for the mother. Todd apparently remarked, "I want to let her know why it happened." Geez, I bet you could have heard a pin drop in that room. Todd is certainly one of the most psychologically intriguing killers I've ever heard of. According to a forensic psychologist who was interviewed about 130 serial killers, Todd wanted to believe he was a good guy. He apparently doesn't want to be associated with the worst serial killers and has said, "I'm not a bad person, but I do bad things sometimes." It seems he justifies his murders in his head by classifying people into categories of good or bad. But obviously, it's a childish mindset to have when you think you can judge people's character and decide their life or death based on how it suits you. Perhaps his twisted personal philosophy and complete lack of remorse was best summed up when he told detectives, "I've never done anything to anybody who didn't have it coming." Todd Colehep's story is especially disturbing, I think, because in the eyes of most people who knew him, he was just a normal dude. Outgoing and charismatic even, and at the very least, successful. He's a guy you probably wouldn't give a second look if you passed him on the street, and you'd probably walk away from a conversation with him thinking he's a chatty, decent guy. And maybe that's the most scary part of all, is wondering how many monsters like Todd are hidden in plain sight.
What a sense of entitlement looks like? No, we already did the Randy Stare one, and I want to move away from a fucking... Like, we did a murder already. We already did, like, enough murders. There's more. We can watch the Insane or Evil, JCS Psychology Inspired. What a sense of entitlement looks like. We can watch that too. But right now, I want to fucking do the P.O. Box. Okay? I haven't done the P.O. Box. I want to do the P.O. Box. I, like, literally set it up so I can, you know, hide the fucking addresses and stuff. You have over 400 upvotes on the subreddit. You made it nearly to the top. I saw. I was just looking at that actually. What is the subreddit? Is it like Joe Rogan? Let's see. Actually, I want to watch like new Reddit. The Joe Rogan Experience. Guest request. Hasan Piker. Wait, I uploaded this. What the fuck? Get this himbo on. Hasan's communities know the brigade shit all the time. Some spurg probably posted in his Discord just about the recent activity. Hasan has over 20k viewers. Only 1% has done the minimum upvoting. And how much of a brigade do? Just because I'm brigading doesn't mean I don't want it. Him and Joe can bond over their all meat diet. Okay, Austinox. Even Austinox is in the fucking. Austinox threw his hat in the ring, dude. Hasan is a reverse Rogan, 6'4" dude with a tiny ass head. The comments on here just show how bubbled up a lot of people are. They constantly, oh, we should absolutely have on opposing views. And then you suggest argue with the most popular leftist streamer, and Yarla like, no, I don't want that kind of opposing viewpoint in my bubble. Fuck out of here. Thank you. Exactly this. The further point, before Hasan looked at the stream, I got the previously unknown award of r/controversial club. Here it is. Dude, that's crazy that this person had like 200 comments with like, look at this. That person when they posted that fucking thing, it was at like 3 upvotes with like 200 comments, dude. That's nuts. I think Joe Rogan's fans are worried that like Joe Rogan's gonna functionally agree with me because they know deep down inside that Joe Rogan agrees with everyone, and that would terrify them. You realize nobody outside of your very small bubble gives a single fuck about Twitch as a whole, much less the streamer you've developed a parasocial relationship with. I love to see Joe Rogan's take on the brown noses that watch Twitch streamers for 8+ hours a day and donate them shitloads of money. Should be fucking hilarious. Wait, but you're a brown noser that watches Joe Rogan for however many hours a day that he fucking does podcasts. You're literally in his subreddit, dude. Did you realize Hasan was pretty popular prior to Twitch, right? I mean, most of these people don't even know that I like literally hung out with Joe Rogan in real life. Something that they probably would fucking kill to do. Recently became very famous on Twitch and one of a bunch of leftist streamers on Twitch and the most famous leftist streamer, and you're trying to lie to yourself. You think Twitch streamers are a very small niche bubble? Dude literally did 2 streams of AOC to interviews, and he was also featured in New York Times and WAPA as a rising political commentating talent. Nobody gives a fuck about TYT either. Joe Rogan literally used to be a TYT watcher. These guys are so funny, dude. Also, he has TTV in his name. Oh, that's kind of sad. I think he's just like a guy who didn't make it. You know what I mean? So he's just like, I wonder if I ban them. And if they have a YouTube channel, available on a bunch of streaming services like YouTube TV.
At Hasanabi 6 months.
Hasan always says Joe will never have him on because it's too hard on him, but I think if anything, he wouldn't have him on because of Pepela 821.
Next generation stay strong. 3 to chat.
I mean, if you have a problem with me, then you very likely just don't like most people. You just want someone to be kind to you. Like, you want a leftist to be kind to you and tell you that you're correct.
2 more months until the baby is here. Hussein, why?
You know what I mean? You just don't want leftists on the show. Just know, even if I wanted, Joe would never let it happen.
Hi, chat.
Joe isn't informed enough to handle it. It would be like 98% Jamie. Can you look that up for me? Because I have no clue what we're talking about. Joe would just talk about how he's friends with Navy SEALs, and Hasan has never done stand-up comedy or starved himself to run a marathon. So his opinions don't matter. That's pretty funny. Hasan, 2 S's, immediate self-report. is a glorified Twitch streamer who films himself sucking at video games and reacted to this for 90% of his content. His only reason is to be on there is because he sometimes expects to talk politics because his uncle let him commentate on TYT. I can't see Rogan being interested. I'm saying that as an liberal. I wonder what community this guy frequents. r/neoliberal. Never mind. He's an NFL poster. So much worse. r/NFL poster. Ugh. I love the take where I like sometimes talk about politics, and then the others that say I talk about politics too much. This guy has one ideological lane and nothing unique or interesting to contribute over a multitude of fairer
23.
and intellectually richer guests like what? Jimmy Dore? Ben Shapiro? Like, what the fuck? I love that. You know, I wish Joe Rogan would have more intellectually robust streamers.
Gaming when?
Alex Jones. He's heard the leftist talking points already and does not agree with them. So do hundreds of millions of other people around the world. That's why he needs to have Alex Jones on, because he agrees with Alex Jones. And Alex Jones has really good opinions. From the people who brought to you, you know what I love about this subreddit that I'm looking at now? These are the exact same people who are like, what do you mean Joe Rogan is biased, dude? He has people from every political walk of life and avenue on. And those are the exact same people who are currently like, do not have this guy on. You will not agree with him. Or worse, you might agree with him. And that fucking sucks. Do not have this guy on, okay? He's dumb. He's an intellectual lightweight. Like, this motherfucker had Stefan Malny meme on, dude. He had, like, literal white supremacists. Tried to watch a few of these guys' clips. Fucking terrible. Says he's watching and reacting to something and spends half the clip getting up and walking around, eating Taco Bell, texting someone all while he's on camera. What? Eating Taco Bell? This guy definitely watched.
10 months, Hasan, I love you, and I hope Benical comes
I don't know. I think he has some really grounded takes on shit. He's a bit of a dumbass, but if you have a problem with that, I don't know how you could watch Joe. That's the best comment I've seen on this thread. Maybe he thinks I'm mischief or something. Part of it is true. I'm ADHD stream format where guys watching a video, eating, interacting, constant donation pop-ups. Dude puts out a metric ton of content. I don't know what clips you've seen, but his episodes, he barely leaves his seats. When he does, he's usually still listening, responding, whatever the video is going over. Don't hate to do just because you have multitask, lol. Man spends 40% of a year on stream. He has to eat and go to the bathroom. What the fuck is this shit? Damn, people are heavy defending me in the comments. Hard pass, lol. Thought you were supposed to be for opposing views in the marketplace of ideas. Welcome to the internet, buckaroo. This dude is super toxic, dehumanizes a large swath of people, and is overall extremely immature at this takes. He's a shock jock for 13 to 18-year-olds. Hasan is a news organization they created. He's a reporter from war zones. He totally was banning your chat. Yeah.
R.I.P. Trevor Moore. Lighten the mood and watch the Moon Bears sketch.
That's so funny. The real reason why Joe Rogan will never have me on is because, like I said, I've criticized him too much. It's just the truth. Hasan wasn't pushing Russiagate. Yeah, I was not. What the fuck? Are these guys now saying like Hasan was pushing Russiagate? Ay. He's a very emotional debater and gets passive aggressive real quick, and why wouldn't bring a chill vibe to JRE, in my opinion. You know, these guys will call you simps.
8 months has buff.
I find it really funny that like these guys would like call you guys simps. You spend all your day in fucking Twitch chat like you're such simps, but then they themselves are like, Joe wouldn't like him. I watched some of his clips.